So moving forward to initiate with our series, I would like to call and introduce our first member. Her name is Ramya Hegde. She is from Belgaum and she is currently working as an employee in Wipro. Her topic is struggles to overcome fear and theosophy. She says in our daily routine or start of the new work or start of a new work or any other situation may it be, we experience fear. There is a necessity to overcome this fear in our day-to-day life. So she would like to share the reflections of Sir J Krishnamurti on fear. So I welcome her. I welcome you, Ramya.
Thank you, Pooja. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good afternoon to one and all present here. My name is Ramya Hegde. I am from Belgavi. My heartfelt greetings to all the elders and younger brothers and sisters who are all the members of Theosophical Society. Today, with this opportunity to speak in this lecture on the theme Struggles to Overcome Fear and Theosophy, would like to share reflections from Sir J. Krishnamurti on fear and solution to it proposed by him. Reference to this context of today's lecture is taken from the book The First and the Last Freedom. We all know that fear which we often face in our day-to-day life, in our daily routines, we have fear of not being worth, or fear of not being perfect, it might be, or fear of what people might think about us, or people's opinions. So, fear of death, maybe, or one or the other thing. There is no end to this fear. So often we have this question to ask: how can I get rid of this fear which influences all my activities? Similar question was posed by one of the audiences in the public speeches of Sir J. Krishnamurti, to which he guides beautifully as follows. He asks, what do you mean by fear? Fear of what? There are various types of fear and we need not analyze each type. But we can see that fear comes into being when our comprehension of relationship is not complete. Relationship is not between people, but between ourselves and nature, between ourselves and property, between ourselves and idea. So, as long as the relationship is not fully understood, there will be fear. Nothing can exist in isolation. So, there must be fear. Fear is not fear is not an abstraction. It exists only in relation to something. Now, the question here is how to be rid of this fear. Sir J. Krishnamurti adds to it as follows. First of all, anything that has to overcome has to be conquered again and again. So, no problem can be conquered, it can only be understood, is what he says. There are two completely different processes, and the conquering process leads to further fear and further resistance. So, Sir says that to resist or to battle with or a problem or to build a defense against it will only create further conflict. Whereas, if we can understand it and go into it fully, step by step, explore the whole content of it, then the fear will never return in any form. So, when we say fear, it exists in many forms. We have fear of not advancing in life, fear of the unknown, fear of the future, or fear of not being worth. So, as a youth, we face fear in various circumstances. Whenever we start a new work, whenever we work on our ideas, or whenever we have to express our ideas, we always have this fear. It might be fear of judgment from people, what people might say, if will I be good or no. So, various types of fear. Can that fear be overcome by determination or by conclusion or by any choice? Obviously not. Sir says that mere sublimation, substitution, can create further resistance. Therefore, any form of discipline through any form of resistance will create further fear. The fact must be clearly understood and experienced that fear cannot be overcome through any form of defense or resistance, nor there can be freedom from fear through the search or an answer or through mere intellectual or verbal explanation. Now, when we think of it, what are we afraid of? Are we afraid of the fact or the idea of the fact? Are we afraid of the thing as it is, or are we afraid of what we think it is? There is a difference here. Taking death as an example, are we afraid of the fact of the death or the idea of the death? Because Here, the fact of the death is one thing, and the idea of the death is another. We often use words, verbal explanation, and names to attach a feeling of ours, experiences, or prejudices. Hence, we are accumulating our experiences to represent the fact, and fear is the outcome of these. And another example to take here is, which we all are aware, is fear of COVID-19 amid of the situation. Here, fear exists in many forms. Like some might have faced fear of virus, fear of health, or fear of losing jobs, and much more. In addition to which, there were many false rumors also, and there are regarding the situation which was circulating all around, which added unknowingly or knowingly to our fear. Applying the teachings of Sir J. Krishnamurti, we can understand is that we must see this current situation as it is, with our facts cleared, not based on someone's ideas or prejudices, nor accumulation of thoughts, nor based on naming the situation, be it good or bad. We must accept and see it as it is. Now, when we will be able to see the fact as it is, we will be able to face with it, and the fact we will be able to face with the fact. Then there is nothing to understand about it. We can deal with it because Sir J. Krishnamurti says fear is obviously the outcome of naming or terming of or a projecting a symbol to represent the fact. That is, fear is not independent of the word or the term. What causes fear is my apprehension about the fact, what the fact might do or be. Sir also makes us aware that it is my opinion, my experience, or my ideas about the fact that creates fear. So, as long as there is an explanation about the fact, giving the fact a name, and therefore identifying or condemning it, so as long as the thought is judging the fact as an observer, there will be fear. Thought is the byproduct of the past, so it can only exist through verbalization, through symbols, or through image. So, as long as the thought is translating the fact, there must be fear. Thus, it is the mind that creates fear, the mind being the process of thinking. There can be freedom from fear only when the mind is capable of looking at the fact as it is without naming it, without translating it, or without giving it a label. There can be freedom from fear only when there is self knowledge. Self knowledge is the beginning of wisdom and the ending of fear. Here, I would like to share a few reflections of Sir J. Krishnamurti on self knowledge. So, here it goes. We see in our day to day life the consequences of fear. Upon fear, we hinder ourselves. We experience anxiety, depression about the fear, like upon fear, inability to think practically, it might be, or cowardness, and so on. So, for us to have freedom from this fear, one must bring about a radically different point of view in our daily existence. Self knowledge is the beginning of wisdom and therefore the beginning of transformation or regeneration. Now, Sir adds to it that to understand oneself, there must be an intention to understand. Although most of us are discontented, we desire to bring about a sudden change, a transformation. Our discontent is canalized merely to achieve a certain result. Sir J. Krishnamurti says self knowledge cannot be given to us by another or through any book. We must discover, and to discover, we must have an intention, an interest to search the inquiry. In order to transform oneself, self knowledge is essential. Without knowing what you are, there is no basis for the right thought. And without knowing yourself, there cannot be transformation. Sir adds to it that one must know oneself as one is, not as one wishes to be, which is merely ideal and therefore fictitious and unreal. It is only what is that can be transformed and not which you wish to be. Sir wants to make us aware that to know oneself as we are requires extraordinary alertness and awareness of the mind, because what is constantly undergoing a change, a transformation, and to follow it swiftly Our mind must not be tethered to any particular dogma or belief or any particular action. Sir also adds to it that to know oneself, there must be an alertness, the awareness of mind, in which the mind is freedom from all beliefs, from all idealization, because beliefs and ideals only give you a color perverting from true perception. The understanding of what you are, it is, let it be ugly or beautiful, or wicked or mischievous, anything it might be. The understanding of what you are is the beginning of virtue. Virtue is not becoming of what is not. It is the understanding of what is, and therefore the freedom from what is. To understand the process, there must be an intention to understand, an intention to follow. The what is, every thought, every feeling, and action must be followed in this moment. Sir says that to understand what is extremely difficult because what is never still, never static. It is always in movement. The what is what you are and not what you would like to be. So it is not the ideal because the ideal is fictitious, but it is what you are doing, thinking, feeling from moment to moment. But if we begin to condemn what is, if we begin to resist, blame it, then we shall not understand this moment. Taking an example, if I want to understand somebody, I cannot condemn him or resist him. I must observe him, I must study him, I must love everything I am studying. If you want to understand a child, you must love him, understand him, but not condemn him. You must play with him, watch his movements, his ways, his behavior. But if you merely condemn him or resist him, then you will never understand the child, nor have any comprehension of the child. Similarly, to understand what is, one must observe what one thinks, one feels from moment to moment. To understand what is requires the state of mind in which there is no identification or condemnation, which means mind is alert but yet passive. When one is interested in understanding what is the actual state of mind, one does not need to force, discipline, or control on it, on the contrary. Because there is a passive alertness, watchfulness, and this state of mind comes when there is interest, the intention to understand. Now, adding to the process of understanding oneself, Sir says the process of understanding oneself does not come through knowledge or accumulation of experiences. The understanding of oneself comes from moment to moment. If we merely accumulate our knowledge of the self, that very knowledge will prevent it from understanding. So now we always have this thought now, is there any means or a system of knowing ourselves or knowing oneself? According to Sir J. Krishnamurti, following a system or a method invented by a philosopher merely will get to a result which is structured by that system. It's merely shaping my thoughts, my activities according to a pattern. But following a pattern is not understanding of oneself. Therefore, there's no method for self knowledge. Thus, the understanding of oneself is not the result, a culmination. It is seeing oneself from moment to moment. In the mirror of relationship, one's relationship to the property, to things, and to the ideas. Now, to bring about a fundamental revolution in oneself, one must understand the whole process of the one's thought and feeling in relationship. That is only solution to all our problems. The problem being our fear of fear of being something, fear of something in this context, and hence to have more disciplines or to have more beliefs, to have more teachers or ideologies should not be carried out. If we can understand oneself from moment to moment without the process of accumulation, then we shall see how there comes a tranquility that is not the product of mind. Hence, through self knowledge, one will be able to see the situation as it is without denying or naming it, thus, being in a state of freedom from fear or any other human problems. Now, summarizing the things that we have gone through, Fear, which is an element in our day-to-day life and which influences our activities. From Sir's reflection, we can understand that self-knowledge gives us freedom from fear, and that self-knowledge can be bought in with an intention to understand every moment. Because because we are undergoing a change every moment, and there will be a necessity to understand from moment to moment. We need to understand what is at this moment rather than accumulating our thoughts or naming the fact. Be with the fact is what Sir says without translating it based on our experiences or ideas. I would like to take this moment to express my thankfulness to Maharashtra Theosophical Federation for giving me this opportunity to speak in this lecture, and to one and all present here. Thank you.